What's up, my friends? So, welcome back to another week of the weekly market analysis. So, I've received an email from Prasad. He mentioned, hey, Rayner, what do you think is a good broker that I should go with? So, I get quite a number of emails similar to the one that Prasad sent me a few days ago. And my take on broker is this. Number one, I'm based in Singapore, so for me, I have to make sure that all brokers that I'm with, they are being regulated by the authority in my country. So depending where you are, you could be in the UK, the US, the Australia, you want to make sure that your broker is currently being regulated. Number two. Number two is you want to make sure that your funds are segregated by your broker. That means that if anything happens to your broker, maybe it incur a serious losses, your funds are still safe and your broker has no access to your funds to pay for their losses. So that is what I mean by segregation of your funds. The third thing I want you to take note of is to make sure that your broker offers a wide variety of product, especially so if products that you want to trade. Say for example, you are a Forex trader and you trade quite a number of currency pairs. So you want to make sure that your broker offers all the different currency pairs that you actually trade, including the exotic ones like maybe the African Rand, the Chinese Yuan, etc. So yep, these are 3 pointers to guide you, on how you should go about selecting your brokers. There are more, secondary points, for example, customer service, the minimum deposit with your broker. So these are all additional factors that you can look into as well. But I would say these 3 main points are the more primary one that you should concern yourself with. So yep, that's my take on broker. And right now, we're going to move on to the markets. And in this week's market analysis, I'll be sharing with you 2 exotic pairs. We'll talk about the dollar Mexican, we'll talk about the African Rand, and a few other currency pairs. But these 2 are currently one of the more bullish trending setups, and I would like to share with you in this week's market analysis. So all this and more, and I'll see you there. Okay, so this is the weekly chart of dollar Mexican, and clearly you can see that this pair is in an uptrend. This red line over here, in case you're wondering, it's the 20 period moving average. This blue line here is the 50 period moving average. And looking at this pair, clearly it's an uptrend because based on the basic technical analysis, you see a series of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It is telling you that price or the chart is in an uptrend. And when you are in an uptrend, the path of least resistance is to trade from the long side. So looking at the daily chart, again, price is now more compressed. You can see that the clearer ebb and flow of the markets. Notice that the 20 and 50 period moving average, they are currently acting as dynamic support. So if you are looking to get long on the dollar Mexican, if you ask me, a potential long opportunity will be a retrace back into this zone over here. Retesting this swing low would be a potential opportunity to get long on this pair. So that is a pullback trade, a potential pullback trade. But for those traders who likes to trade breakouts, another trading opportunity to trade is to get long if price trades above this high over here. That would be a potential breakout trade. So there is 2 possibilities for you to trade a dollar Mexican, whether you want to trade a pullback or whether you want to trade a breakout trade towards the upside. Next, let's talk about the dollar ZAR. So basically, this is the chart of the dollar ZAR, and the ZAR is basically the African Rand, the dollar against the African Rand. And looking at the weekly chart, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Notice how the 20 and 50 period moving average is acting as dynamic support so beautifully. And right now on this weekly chart is basically, trading higher over here. So for traders who trade the weekly charts, a potential trading opportunity for you would be when price retraces lower back into this zone over here. And this is an area whereby you can look to get long. But do understand the fact that because you're trading off the weekly chart, you should manage your expectations accordingly. You won't expect your trades to run in a matter of days, but rather you would give it months or even years for this trade to play out. Why do I say years? Because look at this trend, right? On this left side is February 2012. And today over here is 2015. So for a trend follower who trades off the weekly chart, the very longer term trends, if he trails the stop below the 50 EMA over here, he would still be in this trade and he'll be holding his trade for 3 years or more. So this is why I tell you to manage your expectations, because the time frame you are trading off would have a correlation between the duration of your trades. So that's my take on the dollar against the African Rand. So right now let's talk about the Aussie dollar, shall we? Aussie dollar is a trade that I'm in, then I'd like to share a little bit with you. So if you recall, Aussie dollar months ago, it has been in a sustained downtrend. We see a series of lower highs and lower lows. And if you remember, I mentioned that there was this head and shoulders pattern over here. This is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. This is followed by the neckline over here. So looking at this head and shoulders pattern, and traditional technical analysis tells you that when you see a head and shoulders pattern in an uptrend, it's telling you that there is a potential reversal move that is coming. But right now, we see a head and shoulders pattern in a downtrend. So this is something a little different. And for me, my own interpretation is this. When I see a head and shoulders pattern in a downtrend, it is a sign, it is telling me that the trend will have a higher probability of continuing itself. So that means that I am bearish when I see this head and shoulders pattern. And because understand it from a price action perspective, if you look at it from a price action perspective, it's basically telling you that price made a step lower, then it started to consolidate over here, forming the left shoulder. Then the bulls came in and staged a rally, taking out this resistance over here. So when the bulls came in, it was a short-term victory for them. But not long after, the bears came back in control and, saying, hey, who's boss? I'm boss. And retest these lows over here. Then the bulls tried to make a final attempt, a rally. Notice this weak rally over here, the small size candles. It was a very weak rally. Then the bears came in control, and the deciding factor was when bears closed below this neckline over here. This candle closed below the neckline. And that was the deciding factor, telling you that, you can expect lower prices to come. So when price closed below this neckline over here, then it trade lower, forming this flag pattern. This is where I got short. I got short based on this flag pattern. I traded the breakout towards the downside. I had a stop loss of 2 ATR somewhere around here. Then eventually price, retraced against me, and then finally took off towards the downside over the last couple of weeks. And that is my trade on the Aussie dollar. Right now I'm still in this trade, and I'll be watching to see how low price will go. I'm trailing my stops based on the recent swing high. So the recent swing high is over here, and my stops is above here. So this is my trade on the Aussie dollar. Last but not least, I want to share with you a trade on silver. I see a potential swing trading opportunity on silver. Notice that this was a support, right? Price break below the support. This support over here, support. Then it retests higher. Once the support is broken, it becomes previous support turn resistance. Then we have this rejection of higher prices. Then price traded lower. Then it rally once more, retest the resistance over here. Then it traded lower. And right now, what I'm looking for in this chart is to see if there is a potential retracement, a pullback towards this zone over here. So let me make it clearer, to retest this zone over here. So if there's a retest of this zone over here, for swing traders, you can wait for price to reject higher prices, right, in the form of a pin bar and engulfing pattern, a pin bar like this. So this is something that I'll be looking out for, and this is on silver. So yep, that's all I have for you on this week's market analysis. I hope you find it useful, because if you do, you can feel free to leave comments and any questions below. With that, I wish you all good luck and good trading. I'll talk to you soon.